Good morning, everyone. For Telesur, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas, Venezuela. We begin this morning with the sad news that Leonela Relis Diaz has died after a battle with cancer. She passed away on Saturday in Havana, Cuba, and was buried on Sunday. Relis was the creator of the internationally renowned literacy program, Yes, I Can. Now, thanks to her work, UNESCO gave Cuba the honorable mention King Sejong, then the Literacy Prize of the same name. Over 8 million people in the world have learned how to read and speak via her methods, her innovative methods, and through solidarity programs they promoted by the Cuban Revolution. In Bolivia, 15 people have died and over 10,000 families have suffered property damage after heavy rains, according to government figures. Despite that, according to the Vice Minister for Civil Defense, the country is better prepared than it was in 2014 to deal with such emergencies. Last year, the rainy season was one of the most devastating in recent decades, with about 60 dead and some 60,000 families affected, in addition to huge losses for the agricultural sector. Ecuadorian President Rafael Correa has announced that his government will not decrease public investment in face of continuously dropping oil prices. The president says that the necessary precautions have been taken as the price of crude oil drops below $45. Correa said that his strategy is to maintain the level of public investment and that if economic adjustments need to be made, they'll be made on those who have the most. And in world news, Israel has launched strikes into Syrian territory, killing 5 people. The Israeli airstrike killed a Hezbollah commander and the son of a late military leader. That's according to Hezbollah. Jihad Monginiha, as well as 4 other members, died in the attack in the province of Kinitra, near the Golan Heights. That area is currently occupied by Israeli forces. The chief of Hezbollah operations in Syria, Mohammed Issa, was also among those killed in the convoy attack. Imad Muniyeh, Matinya's father, was killed in a bombing in Damascus in 2008. As of yesterday, the country of Mali has been declared officially free of Ebola. The government reports that no new cases have been detected in the last 42 days. Now, Mali recorded 6 deaths from Ebola. At one point, health officials there had been monitoring more than 300 contact cases. Ebola has killed over 8,400 people in the country's neighboring Mali. Meanwhile, a second Cuban health professional died yesterday from malaria while in the region fighting Ebola. Reinaldo Villafranca was one of 256 Cubans sent to the region in October by the Cuban government. Another Cuban, Felix Bayex, contracted Ebola in November but recovered and has returned to Cuba. Heading southeast now to Nigeria, Boko Haram fighters crossed from the country into northern Camaroon yesterday. In the process, they took 80 villagers, mostly children, with them. Several villagers tried to defend their town but were killed. A Cameroonian government spokesperson says that the Boko Haram fighters also torched at least 80 homes. On Saturday, hundreds protested in Chad in support of that government's decision to send troops to Cameroon to fight the group. Both Muslim and Christian Pakistanis rallied yesterday against the Charlie Hebdo cartoons that they say insults the Prophet Muhammad. Last week, Charlie Hebdo published a picture of the Prophet Muhammad weeping on its cover. In a smaller protest by Imran Khan's Pakistani Tehreek-e-Insaf party, demonstrators set fire to an effigy of French President François Hollande. Pakistani lawyers on Saturday also boycotted courts to protest the cartoons. Moving to Europe now, to Greece, where the left-wing Syriza party says it is ready to run the country as elections approach this week. As Greece has faced years of austerity, the number of Syriza supporters have grown. Support for the 2 main parties has dwindled. A Syriza spokesperson says that after reshaping itself from a street protest party, it is now ready to govern the country. Syriza wants to bring back a higher minimum wage, reduced as part of austerity reforms. It also wants to restore at least one bonus for pensioners. All supplemental bonuses were also cut as part of austerity. The party also wants to increase spending for health, education, and culture, all sectors which also came under the knife as part of reforms. And to France, dozens of truck drivers blocked several key roads around Paris yesterday to call for a pay raise. They also demand an extra bonus at the end of the year. Unions called on the truck drivers to disrupt traffic on important roads and to block access to fuel depots as well as to major warehouses. A spokesperson of the union CFTC argues that drivers from Eastern Europe are preferred by transport companies because they're paid lower wages. We also finish in Greece today, where we end with news that hundreds of Greek politicians and civilians gathered yesterday to demand Britain return the Parthenon marbles. The marble statues from the facade of the Parthenon are considered among the greatest works of ancient Greek art. They have been the subject of dispute since they were taken from Ottoman-ruled Athens by Earl of Elgin. They were bought by the British state and placed in London's British Museum in 1816. Greece has fought for generations to have the sculptures returned. The mayor of Marathon says the Parthenon was a national monument, therefore the marbles should be returned to Greece. Plenty more on those stories and plenty others at our website, telesurtv.net/English. For Telesur English, I'm Cody Weddle. Have a great Monday and a great week.